Sema mboka kwanza. Yaje? Hello beautiful people, wherever you are, welcome back. It's Anas Koginto back again to the route here. I'm just traveling to Mabera a little bit here. Get a little bit of the lecture as everything is so fantastic here. So if you're first time you're watching this kind of the video, welcome back, and let us be tuned and be locked in so you can just make it happen, because everything is okay and everything is just moving just very nice. And today I'm going to be framing out and talking about there are much of the things that are always coming out that we have to talk about at this kind of the time. There's no any other time that will ever come out and talk about, oh, this is how it's gonna be, or it's gonna be framed at this kind of the Esquire, or at each kind of the moment that it needs us to have that kind of the configurations of the day. Let me go straight to the point, because everything has to be pinpointed the way it is. I've seen so many people talking about rubbish in terms of talking about, oh, Gintu, there are much of the people who are asking about ABCD, about the money, about whatever. Let me get it out straight to the point. To the people who ever understood that oh, Gintu had to make sure that I'm getting that kind of an arrest, and how the things were coming out from that kind of the position after going to the court, because when the cash bill came and we had to pay the cash bill of it. So whoever is talking about, oh, Gintu has been Rono scamming or whatever and doing whatever, they are putting in Mogesi, everybody was trying to look east and south, because what much of the people are talking about before I could just be given the cash bill out, everybody was asking the lawyer and asking talk about the police officers who were there, and talking about, oh, they talk about the court officials, that how is that case, how do you see, so as you can just understand it and do such kind of the video to understand if you can just manage to raise which kind of the money at which kind of the rate, so you can just understand at which poetry we just reach. But we have people are just coming out and talking about, oh, how it's gonna be if somebody ever talked about it, and you are so jealousy. Let me say this as a fact, guys, because everybody is not understanding what's really coming out at each and every kind of the time, in a way that the first time that I got arrested with this kind of the DCI, because Dave Jr. and talk about the Congress that brought this kind of the people so they can just come and arrest me. And I went with them up to the DCI office, because they're still having that kind of the grudge still up to date, because you cannot raise your hands and to the court and talk about have another adding advantage value or whatever case kind of the case is going to be added up. And it was just dismantled from getting there, because it was just kicked out. So when everything was just conducted that way, there's a lot of money that much of the people sent, and the people who are just holding this kind of the money were one of the gentlemen that I can talk about. There are two of the gentlemen who are holding this kind of the money, and to this kind of the time at this kind of the position, that the ones who are raising concerns, because they were not put into that kind of they were not put in that kind of the module, so they can just handle the money, because the last time there were the people who handled the money at that effervescence manner, they became so tangic in a way that they started manipulating, and they started doing reputation on themselves, and not understanding that everything has its own consequences. Because at this kind of the fact, I can say it the way it is, because people don't understand what's really and where is this kind of the issues coming from of talking about the money east, west and south. Last time, you can understand, there's this kind of the guy called Nairobi Teacher. Nairobi Teacher was Nairobi Teacher was the one who received amongst the money, and he have the analyzing. He can just analyze to you how the money and where did the money be sent to, and you can understand at that kind of the position. I can say that the money that was sent, even him, he can just tell you the fact. He directed that money to somebody who was there in terms of making sure that you're going to be analyzing and talking to the DCI officers, so as they can just get a cash bill out to make sure that everything is handled outside. So when you are just put in that position, you think about people will not analyze. You think about now you have been given, we are in a litigation progress whereby you are like a lawyer again. When somebody talks about can you come and rescue somebody in that kind of a manner, so somebody thinks about you can be like you are a lawyer. Let me talk about this. When I went to get Mayani out, I understood my part was to make sure that Mayani is out in a way that every kind of the defenses and whatever, I could just make sure that everything is positioned in a way that everything has to be handled very, very legitimate. But some of the people that are coming out that, okay, can you handle this and then this? Because somebody has talked about, okay, you're going to be the one who's going to be doing this, but you come out thinking about now you're going to be employed like a lawyer in terms of that. Even a lawyer cannot, even one representation of a case, I don't think you can just eat the money this kind of the people ate at that kind of the time. In a way that right now, whenever the second time has reached, they're now claiming, including calling the same people and talking about, because not everybody is anonymous. And I will say this as a fact, because people are asking about, oh, Gintu, who is behind this, who is behind this, who is making this one, but nobody has ever come to realize where is the number coming from and who is this, at which rate. Because if I've talked about I'm the one speaking to you and somebody has called me, that number should be anonymous and nobody can just get that kind of the number, whether you like it or not. In terms of speaking that kind of a fact, people, that's why they are messing up with their own intelligence. In a way that you can get somebody who has been called once and talks about, I'm going to be supporting you in this and this because I saw you had this kind of the problem and I have this kind of the money and I can help you into this and this because I've just seen that you are genuine in this one and I can just help you this way. So you take it as an advantage. Now you're going to be taking it as a way that whenever you have any kind of a problem, you're just calling the number and including giving out, sharing this kind of the numbers. I don't know why some of the people are just in terms of that one, and it's much of lacking discipline and talking about they don't have that courtesy of privacy, in a way that it reaches at a point whereby we can analyze and understand it clearly in a way that let us not throw each other in pogroms or whatever, and talking about a squash, talk about the squash language in a way that we are sanitizing the languages east, west and south. I'm talking about this, talking about the other one. But the real conscience of the manner, there's something which is cooking behind the scene. What do I talk about this one? It's in a way that last time much of the people started benefiting in a way that they saw that, oh, this kind of the person is capable of doing this kind of the person is capable of doing this. And that's why I'm saying this. That's why I've left talking about, oh, we're going to be having this kind of the friends here, we're going to be having this kind of the friends here, because they're the people who are coming to investigate you. And after getting that they're going to be having you entitled at one position, they're going to be dealing with you perpendicularly per unit time. What do I mean? I tried to give somebody at my own construction one of the good opportunities so as he can just get himself somewhere and some wages so as he can just make his own living standards for me. And I think I helped him in a way that I squeezed him until he monetized his own channel. Then he came out because he was communicating to the people who are sponsoring him, because sometimes you can talk about, okay, you have not got Gintu because Gintu was gotten into this kind of the problem. Let me use this kind of the person or the fellow because I see their friends, so they can just see, is it going to be working this way or it's going to not work this way. Then you talk about, okay, this is the person who is Gintu using, or Gintu is making this one because of this one, because of this one. I will say it as a fact. And everybody should get it as a fact. Nobody doesn't have a sponsor. Get it that way. Nobody. Whoever is talking about, oh, Gintu is coming, let us see who is coming who and who is making this. If somebody has come out and talked about, oh, Gintu has scammed me this kind of the money and it's because of this and then this, come out and represent and say that, oh, Gintu, I said it's going to be this way, but Gintu never gave me this way. It could be understood in a way that somebody can understand that, okay, by the way, somebody can talk about, okay, by the way, Gintu, it has been this way. There's somebody who has come out and they have spoken about, oh, Gintu, this is talk about this is Gintu's we can call them some of the tracking numbers that have been using to this and this, and this is the amount of money. Can come out and talk about, okay, I gave this kind of the money out, so as Gintu can come out, and I didn't see where this kind of the money went. But this kind of the area, much of the people started calling to the US, phone calls from east, west, and south. I'm telling you as a fact. Everybody's talking about, oh, Gintu, I found this kind of a call from here, I found this kind of call from here. Do you know this kind of the person or this and that? Who gave them the numbers? And who is communicating and who is getting these numbers outside and getting the sponsorship and whatever, so they can just talk about, oh, don't send this money, don't do this one. Oh, I've talked about, oh, you know, I was in the court, I've heard that the Gintu is not going to be coming out. Oh, don't send your money, or don't do this one. Who has sent you to do that? Because at that kind of an artifact, we can come to the conclusion that they lost it, because last time I gave them the best way ever possible. I'm telling you as a fact. Because this kind of the people, they were paying themselves. They talked about, okay, Gintu, because I've sat there from the morning up to the evening, or I've done this one and this and this one. So what I'm going to be doing is to make sure that I'm taking this amount of money, and it's going to be helping me in this kind of the way or the other way around, and no argument. It's this is the money I'm going to be picking. So write time down. Now they know that, oh, Gintu gonna be, maybe the money gonna be coming out from this kind of the person, from this kind of the person. So the phone calls were coming east, west, and south. Talk about the phone calls from A, B, C, D, and much of the people, they have to understand it clearly in a way that we have to pump it in a way that there's no trepidations, or there's no much of talking about gonna be fearing or anxiety in each kind of the manner. That everybody should understand his own way. If you understand, why can't you call? If you understand, you have your own sponsor, you have this kind of the person. And what I can say is nobody has lured somebody that, okay, I want you to help me in this way, or somebody has talked about, I've seen that this kind of the things that this kind of the person is doing. Whoever the bad you call me, whatever bad I'll call you, everybody is talking about you are the one who is legit. That's why whenever you are going to seduce a lady, and everybody has his own eyesight, talking about this is my eyesight into this one, and I can talk about, okay, this person looks so extra good in this way, or this person looks extra good in that way. That is the effervescence of coming to titulate this kind of the idea that everything that you might be doing at this kind of the moment, it has its own consequence, and it has its own way of doing it, at which kind of the rate and how it's going to be coming. And that is titulating the point into its own module of getting everything to how it should be. And hey, mambo, wait, Jaja, Yakiore, Jaja. It was my co-driver. So he's now riding the big trucks, because he was riding a tipper. Talk about the one that is the lorries that carry some of the sand. So right now he has just ventured and is now working from a very big truck there, and that is the best way for everybody to move. So we are not, we shall not stuck to the same position every time and again and again. So the good point I was ever talking about here is whereby, when you see all these kind of the scenarios are turning around east, west, and south, there everybody's talking about, oh, Gintu is this way, this kind of the people are this way. I've seen they're talking about my sister is this way, talk about Mayani has done this way. And what I can say is, has somebody talked about you that, oh, you have done this, you have sold the land, where is the money that you sold the land? And what are you using with that kind of the money, at which rate, and how is it moving? So it's something which is very interesting when we come that somebody is talking about this is how the consumption rate, or this is how this kind of the money could be used in a manner that who is analyzing your own money, that what can you do this and how can you do this one? Who told you that the case is over? Who told you about that one? Because we still have much more to go. We still have more to analyze, more to go, because everything has to come out effectively. Niaje wanganyera mono wacha nifike hapa nakuja. So guys, at this kind of the moment I can talk about everything has to come. Hey, mambo, niko kwa kazi kidogo. So we shall have to come to the real conclusion of understanding every kind of the trepidations of every moment and every analyzing that we should can you stick to your own points? Can you stick to your own link? If you wanted to talk about, you're going to be having this kind of the dialogue and putting all the interfacts together and talk about you're going to be like a lawyer or you're going to be representing somebody, all this kind of the money, maybe it has bypassed you in a way that you are the one who was used, and this is how you're going to be doing it. Let me tell you this, because when you ever select somebody talking about they're going to be representing you somewhere, be very keen and be very careful in a manner that they're going to be a very good deal that's going to be analyzed in a way that you can just wonder that they are talking about, oh, this is the cash bill this way, and you understand sometimes the cash bill you can begin and talk about this amount of money I have. So you can find that the same people are the ones who are beginning and talking about, oh no, it cannot work this way, they have refused this way, and they understand. I came to understand that this kind of the people are finding it in a way that, niaje, niko hapa ndani. They are finding it in a way that they're discussing with the police and discussing with the DCI on what this kind of the person should remove. Because I came one day to give out this kind of the reservoirs in a way that one of the Sierra Leone guy was arrested, and so many occasions occurred. And they were talking about, no, this kind of the person has money and this is the money that should be. In Nyapohanse, we need something that is very usual, and we shall have to do such kind of a thing in a way that we will have everything moving very forward. So keep it tuned. I'm going to be coming back to you because here we're going to be having much of the copyrights, and I'm going to be coming to you in a short while. Keep it tuned. Coming. Beautiful people, back again to the Esquire, and also to this kind of the moment right now here. We're going to be talking about more of the things that are going to be coming out at this kind of the point, and also talking about what we're going to be achieving at the G Castle here again, because we are talking about we're going to be having other extra things that we're going to be placing here, talking about a new construction going to be starting here with an immediate effect, because we're going to be making sure that everything is coming out. I talked about I have already started collecting much of the materials so as we can have a modern kitchen, which is going to be coming with like 3 rooms that are going to be coming, and it's going to be coming from on Sunday. Talk about already the plan, and also talk about the quotation is out, talking about we're going to be starting it on Sunday. We talk about we're going to be starting it from the foundation with an immediate effect, because there's no dull moment again that we're going to be having at this kind of the point. I'll talk about this kind of the time, and we're going to be squeezing and making sure that everything going to be coming out very successful, because as far as everything is in concern, we always talk about we have many things to achieve and many things to do at each and every kind of the space that we are. There are much of the people who think about, oh, we're going to be doing this one and this one and this one. No, everything has to come in a strategically way, and talk about there's no dull moment ever, because if we have some hardcore here, it's going to be I'm going to be adding like 2 tracks here again for the hardcore, and also to make sure that we're going to be having the sand that we're going to be coming here. I'm going to be calling also my brother here to confirm if we're going to be in a space of bringing me much of the stuffs here. Let me ask him if he's going to be in a position of bringing much of the materials also, so they can just start it. I understand there are so many people who are not getting it good whenever they see that we're going to be squeezing, and if God has planned that this is going to be happening this way, there's nobody can just talk about, oh, it's going to be this way, it's going to be that way. No, what we need is, yes, hello, sasa nkulinga mure usenyeke muhikire ya kwanza. Wewe acha kwa hivyo bado toranyuria sawa, nasokion TV in case kwa sababu na magana naga tunire agande na umasense pia na kaburi ndanye kabaye sawa ndanyu kurwa soli ndayo ramagania kino gachiri no musensa gonde Aya, sawa, no problem. Aya. Guys, a little bit here, I'm speaking to the truckman. So as you can just have a little bit of another hardcore. They are so compiled right now. Everybody is doing talk about the construction is high, and everybody is getting to the constructions and much more, because he's not having much of the time, because he's compiled somewhere, going to be sleeping somewhere else because the work is too much. And I was just requesting, because where he is, it's just working at the lake area. So I was talking about whenever going to be coming back, he should come with sand, because that's a lake area. But so far it's not like he could just come empty and bring some stone from maybe somewhere, hardcore from somewhere, but it could be so better if he could just come from the lake there direct to this point with some of the sand. But that sand is very fine and pure, and it's just loaded with excavators, and that's the best way, because I understand whenever it comes to everybody is talking about, oh, whenever you come, you understand right now it's a competition between money, because where he is to bring that kind of the sand, it's going to be costing a little bit costly in terms of it's going to not be so much costly like he could get from here to the lake region, which is going to be we are at the lake region, but the lake side, it's going to be how many kilometers, like 80 kilometers. So if it's like 80 kilometers, getting there and bringing you sand 80 kilometers, which is 160, it will be expensive if you're going to be coming from here. But if he is there, it's very better for him to come with it from there to this position. It's going to be so easy for that kind of the mean. But at this kind of the time, everybody now is talking about, oh, we're going to be coming with this kind of the sand, come with it, how much will it be? So it's now a competition between money. So I don't know if the blood, the way can just work there, I don't know, majestically. But I understand, because we have to understand how the program is. So I'm going to be receiving much of the sand still coming here, like 2 trucks and also 2 trucks for the hardcore, and everything going to be so fantastic here. So but it's going to be so costly, because it rained previous days, talk about 2 days ago, but it's not worth it to bring much of the sand to the rivers so as they can just be harvested a little bit. But everything is positive, and we're going to be talking about God going to be making a way where seems to be nowhere. But a good thing is I have 1 truck here, so you're going to be using what is there. But I have to start the construction if I have 2 trucks of hardcore before I could just step in and talk about going to be starting the construction. So that is what going to be coming out. The G Castle a little bit right now, because we are at a very delicate place, because my mother is a little bit in a delicate place, talking about going to be in that kind of the kitchen. It's going to be collapsing in any time. So I don't want to have such kind of the mysteries that are going to be handed over this kind of the area, because it will be so califragistically not good. So I'm going to be making sure that everything is handled. We understand that I'm the one now taking over the game, because my father was the one who was living here. I was living with my father, and right now I'm the one who going to be possessing everything that my father could just talk about. Okay, can you do this one, or I can do this one, or I can do the other one, or I can do the other one. So that's what I'm just going to be making sure that everything is coming out. And also to the real F-Ofsen, much of the people are going to be asking about, okay, where have you reached in terms of the G Castle, because I'm going to be starting another construction, because the G Castle is at least, because where it has reached, it's in a particular place I can talk about. It's a better, because what is remaining here, it's only skimming, because already the G Castle here, in terms of we can call it the gypsum boards, they have already been laid here very meticulously. So it's gonna be so meticulous when it comes to the gypsum study and the gypsum installation here. And also, guys, you can understand, much of the people can just know, when I was starting the construction of this kind of the G Castle, this is where my house was just linking from. And you can see still we have much of the paints here, which I was just using into my house. It was so califragistic, very nice, eh? So it could be reflecting very nice inside the house, but it was so short whenever compared to the G Castle at this kind of the moment. And the good thing is I'm going to be taking it off, I'm going gonna be demolishing it tomorrow, a whole of it until the far end. So as we can just put here kitchen, and they talk about the 2 rooms here. We have the first one and the second one, which is the first one here. It's gonna be like an emergency or any kind of visitors room. They can just get onto this one. And also we have the far one, which is just the kitchen area. So I want it to be extended in a way that everything will be just the way it is. Whatever gonna be demolished here, it's gonna be getting back the way it is, like right now, because it's gonna be like 3 rooms. This room here, it's just for visitors, whoever gonna be coming as visitors, that I can talk about. Oh, the G Castle gonna not be effective or cannot be supporting this kind of the whole people. They can just come to this kind of the room here that we're gonna be having a sitting room and a bedroom here, and a kitchen, which is a modern kitchen that we're gonna be handling much of the matters of the stomach, or the talk about the feed, which is eating a progression, or talk about the production rate of the food, talk about burning some of the souffleurs or burning much of the pots at that kind of an area. So it's going to be extended a little bit inside. That's why I was talking about, can you see where the G Castle is? So it could not get far away from my mom's house, because my mom's house to go a little bit forward, because if I could just jump this kind of the step here, it seems that I could be the one who is taking over the responsibility here. But my father was still available when I was constructing, so it could not be at that kind of the point that we're going to be talking about. So that is what we're going to be coming. And also I have one of the people, because my mom's house a little bit, it was constructed with a hurry, because of you understand, whenever we talk about, oh, you're going to be this way, you're going to be this way, so a little bit it was not put such kind of a lintel stage that was there, because it's now looking like worn out. But I'm going to be repairing it whenever I'm going to be having the finishing point of the G Castle. Even this kind of the house is going to be shining after that kind of the finishing point of the G Castle there. So that will be the best way for us to go. Talk about, there are some of the mud houses that are going to be completely taking off from here, to make sure that I will be getting the perimeter wall, some of them, but I have to build some to make sure that the perimeter wall, whenever going to be coming, I will just remove the others, because some of them, like the upper one, it's acting like security at this kind of the time. I cannot take it off because it's still having much of its own duty there, because of the security program and security pattern at that kind of an area. So much of the people are going to be asking about, this is the door of the G Castle here. This is the second door from the kitchen. So much of the people are going to be asking about how is this kind of the door outside, because this is the main door of the entry to home here inside here. But how is it here? I'm going to be talking about this kind of the cow house. It's a 0 grazing unit. It's going to be demolished, and they're going to be getting out from here, because it has its own area where it's strategically going to be located. But much of the people are going to be asking about, what about this kind of the fish farms here, or the fish ponds here? These are just collecting much of the water coming all over this kind of the home. But it's going to be maintained in a way that they will be just inside here. Or I can decide to talk about, I'm going to be having some biogas and much more at this kind of the rate. But it's going to be getting out from here, and I'm preparing everything in a short time, in a way that it's decent, and everything going to be strategically located in a way that if it's going to be moving from here, and the toilet should move from here, because already it's going to be getting to that far end. Let me show you where I'm just strategizing, and everybody can just understand how the things are just moving at each kind of the moment here. So already this kind of the talk about the cow pen, or you can just call it a 0 grazing unit, gonna be coming at the back of this kind of an area, so as it can just be at this kind of the hole here. And this kind of the house is gonna be coming back to make sure that we're gonna be having a toilet here, because it's already dug here, to make sure that this is where the compound will be reaching, and it will be at the end, whereby the toilet will be at the end, far end, to make sure that it's gonna be so fantastic here. That is the best way for us to deal with this kind of the way. So whenever I talk about, this is the perimeter wall, which is here. We started building the perimeter. I started building this kind of the perimeter walls to make sure that it's going to be acting here as a security pattern, and that's why I just placed here much of the chicken farming, and also right now there are still chicken there, and some rabbits are here. So this kind of the whole section. This is why I wanted to build the G Castle, but my father refused and talked about it will cover a larger space, because he saw how big it was. and he talked about, no, this G castle cannot be here because this perimeter wall was to act like the pavement of it. So it could be coming to this kind of the side. So it will come to cover much of its own land. It will be in the farms here, behind the farms here. So it could interfere with the farms behind here. So that's why he decided to talk about, again, to demolish the house you are living. Look for a better and look for an alternative that you can just live to another house to make sure that you are living there, and demolish it to make sure that you're going to be putting there the G castle. That's what I did. And he told me that at the end, when I'm just still shifting much of the houses here, the cow pen, talk about the zero grazing unit will be here, and other cows, if they're going to be sleeping, or we have some of the goats. I think about going to be having some goat farming here, and also are going to be having some cow, talk about maybe a dairy farming also, and they're going to be adding more and more and more, because it will not be so bigger, because it will reach at this kind of the section here, and with this where the perimeter wall will be passing. Unachukua mbao and sawa, zingine utabomoa ukuja na nyundo bomoa huko. Haya. So that is what I'm going to be talking about. So the perimeter wall, if this kind of the house going to be at this kind of the area, it will reach where this kind of the corner is, coming to where I am just standing. So it will be enough until where this perimeter wall is reaching. So it will be a very big house that's going to be collecting, talk about the goat farming and other cows, and also we're going to be having the dairy farming here. I'm going to be having the farming of the animal, because I like much of the animals. And from there, when the perimeter wall going to be passing, it will leave, because my father is resting in peace here, and I will not attempt to do it, because it's not advised here to make sure that this kind of we can call it a grave, it's not getting inside the compound. So when we're going to be constructing a perimeter wall, it will come to attach itself here, because if this house is going to be here, it will come to attach itself from this corner, and if it's going to be attaching from this corner, it means that it will pass direct to this kind of the bricking system. It will leave the grave aside, and nobody will ever attempt to get it from here, because even when we were just dealing with the brick formation, I told them don't to attempt coming to this side, because my father had already said that this is where he will be rest in peace. So that's why we talked about they should not move closer to where my father said he could just much of the things my father had already seen forward, and he was already onto it, and he understood that how he was just feeling, because he was having too much of the sicknesses. Remember, even when Kibe came to check on him and how the talk about the health state as well, you can understand from there. Already here, guys, dogs are just eating grass. So some people just wonder, oh, why is the dogs eating grass? You can see here, dogs eat grass. That's the fact. You can see dog eat grass here. Yeah, eat. Yeah, dogs eat grass. So that is one of the unique way of their medication. So you have to understand the medication of the dogs here. So that's how they're just looking for the grass. But it's not any grass. You can see they're just swallowing and eating grass. But it's not any grass we are talking about here. It's a specific grass, this kind of the grass here. So this is the one that it's always used in terms of the consumption. So when I come back to the bricking system, because I talked about I have some bricks here, that I still have more bricks and more bricks to come, because I have not yet reached at a point of talking about the bricks will be enough, and I still have a perimeter wall. I still have some of the construction are going to be coming, so I need more and more and more bricks to make sure that everything will be moving so fantastic here. So that is the best. And in terms of talking about agriculture, this perimeter wall will not attempt to come to where this kind of the kells are. Nani? Oh, wacha nikuje. So it will not attempt to come to this kind of the sides here, and I always practice to make sure that this kind of the popo is not attached with some of the this kind of the stuff. They're gonna be getting some of the problem. So this area, it's just we can call it a kitchen garden, and we're gonna be having some emergency doors here to make sure we're gonna be accessing the kitchen garden at the back here because we are moving. So what I'm talking about here is everything is just analyzed properly from each and every kind of the section to make sure that we are moving very. Oh, the trees are now growing. Some of the people talk about, oh, these kind of the trees are the ones that are holding, talk about the legacy and legitimate legacy. Though this is the house that are going to be coming out from here, talk about from tomorrow, it's going to be demolished from here tomorrow with an immediate effect to make sure that everything is so fantastic from this kind of the side here. So when Mayani here is talking too much. And he's having some security.
No, don't do that.
Yeah, security is tight. No, they want soda, man. Coca-Cola.
Security is tight. Hey, security is tight, man. Hey.
Yeah? Simpaka tuende ni kuangalizia. Amaenda uchomoe basi uangalie kama unaweza chomoa.
Uchache mnyamana ndai ni mlipe mchanga. Amefika.
Ameshaleta. Sasa unasubiria nini basi? Wewe unaanza plaster.
Give me one, man.
Which one?
Give me this one.
Dogs. No, I want like 15.
No, the small one. The small one.
No, I'm still having more dogs.
You're a friend of mine.
I want 15 dogs. But I have 11, so 4 to go. Even I'm the one to request if you have a dog.
I'm
please
requesting.
Give me one.
Please give
no,
me
you
one.
Give me one if you have.
Me, I don't have even one.
If you don't have now,
give me one, please.
No more. I need more, man.
I will give you this Coca-Cola.
No, Coca-Cola for a dog, man.
Yeah, take a Coca-Cola.
No, I have female dogs here, and like this one, it is pregnant.
Okay.
So already talk about cucumberization has taken over.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's only wait for a little bit moment.
So
you can see the ones that just making sure they're gonna be having their own demonstration there. So book for it.
Okay.
Yeah, you can book here. You can book here.
Yeah.
Yeah. The good thing is I have males here. Yeah, I have mares which are doing meticulous job here.
Okay.
Yeah, I depend on my own breeds.
That's fantastic. That is fantastic.
I depend on my own breed. So if you need this short breed here, or you need this one here, this is still, do you know, this one here is the one that is following this one.
Okay, then give me this.
No, I cannot give you because it's a male. I need more male. Because what I'm seeing here, it's like male are dying quickly than female. So I don't want to be in terms of that one.
The male is functioning.
The male here, they're fantastic. So you can see this kind of the breeds here. Very meticulous. Yeah, everything is awesome. So guys, keep it tuned. I'm gonna be back to you in a short while. I have Moges here on the site. Hi, man. How is everything?
Everything is good.
Everything is conky.
And everything is
Kibabiron Kihil Slaso. So keep it tuned. I'm gonna be back to you in a short while.
fantastic.
Niona? Unaniona? Haya, mulika basi hapa. Tuendelee na kazi. Haya, watamba hana kui.
Subiri ni. Toa leo tahukuja. Haya.
Bamba, bota.
Moja mbili ziko. Ishida.
Bota yaragare.
Yaragare.
Okay, chance. Wewe finya kama simu hapo nyuma. Hapa. Finya hapo nyuma. Marudi kuna nionea. Finya. Finya hivi kama simu. Nataka kwa yeye. Sawa.
Usiguze.
Siongea hapo nyuma.
Puncher here, so should be so accurate there before it can just bring the message here. Very clear kulikwera.
Na yo nirenga sasa.
Sasa nirenge 75 mpaka 78. Sasa puncher here, so should be so accurate there before it can just bring the message here.